And we're back with Denizens episode. Is this 3? 3, I think so.
Yeah.
It's 3.
And I have with me, as ever, the Mr. Flavor Flav of the Dune world, Blake Smirk.
Hello?
Hello! And the cool, calm, collected, the minty, fresh Mentat, Turan Corrado. And this session, bringing the heat, because finally we're in a duel. Sergeant Bravo Marlo. Oh, saluting. I like it. And somewhere in the background, being innocuous, not getting up into any trouble, absolutely, definitely not, William Tarosh. And we're going to pick up where we left off, because we were sort of like mid-scene. You had been...
We had just finished. I just won the duel, right? That's where we left.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice
well done.
try. Nice try. But no, you are currently situated on Anna Vesarian's island in this sort of Bahamas-like equatorial location and haven. No connection to holiday camp companies at all. And you had begun your efforts to try and persuade her not to attend the Imperial Art Exhibition in order to assuage the artist in residence fears that she would ruin it. And you entered into a social conflict with her when, with all your various subtle moves and the counter moves, her ploy, her attack failed. Have to think, complete lack of threat helped you out there. To a certain extent, you were able to demand satisfaction and enter into a duel. And so let's switch to the island itself, because in the best Blue Peter tradition, I've made a map so that we can get a sense of where we are. And I'm going to switch you to it. And then we'll play my favourite game on Roll20, which is, can you see the map? Turning it all on. But hopefully I got it right.
Oh, it looks good now, yeah.
So this is her private island on ecstasy. You can see where you landed your ornithopter over here. This section where her rather swanky looking home is precariously perched, is raised up. So this is the highest level, although there are these areas sort of indicate sort of like rocky formations, and it slopes down to the beach. There is a set of descending stairs that lead down to it to access the beachfront. Here is the veranda where you held your meeting with Anna Vesarian, the scion of the minor house that serves the house of the emperor, no less. But she's in charge of a crumbling house. She seems to be, you learned, contributing to the crumbling with her own crippling spice addiction, which you confronted her with, which is how we ended up in this situation. And there's Anna Vesarian, who is sat on her elegant sofa, and we left it with her bodyguard, who bears no resemblance to Dolph Lundgren whatsoever, Darian, giving you the signal, Sergeant Bravo, and striding off into the lawn and stretching himself out. And feel free to place yourself where you want to. At the moment, It's just as you can see, just yourselves. She has got a personal attendant, but they're inside the house right now, probably topping up the drinks. And you'll also find just off the map on the right hand side there's a grey area, which is where we can load momentum and threat if we need to. So Darian stands there, hand on hip on his blade. He has a personal shield as well, and he's awaiting.
I turn to the rest of the group. Sergeant Marlo turns to the rest of the group and says, "Do you want me to kill him or just teach him a lesson?"
I believe that etiquette would accept first blood or yield in this situation. So I would defer to Blake.
And this is one of those political conversations. Like, does Anna Vesarian expect to lose a bodyguard here, or did they expect us to lose one of our members of the house here? Is this to the death? Is that what this is implied?
You can set this as you like, because she failed her social attack on you, and you had the option to take the duel, so you set the terms. She simply asked for Turan to, because of his mentat training, which he respects, to officiate fairly. So it's up to you.
Okay.
Are the terms like, if the sergeant wins, then she does what we told her to and buggers off and stays away from?
Yeah.
That was already established as like the principle.
Cool.
Yeah. It's.
I would like go round this way, because I think hopefully our focus is going to be over there. And as I pass by the sergeant, really quietly, I would just like to say, take your time. And then I'll come and stand over here.
Yeah, there is. Just so you can get a sense, there is a fence around the perimeter here.
Okay.
But these are floor-to-ceiling glass windows. There is the doorway in the main. There's another main doorway over here, just so you can get a little lay of the land. But you can set the win condition, brother.
Okay. Yeah. I assume this would be to the death, but I don't want to, like, she's already going to be losing face in front of her. If she won't come to the exhibition, I may want to spare her man just to like let her, have something intact. I'm happy to go either way. I'm not really sure the protocol here would be to, I assume would be to.
In this situation,
give him a cut.
Yeah, it's to first blood. With what you would expect.
I'd like to see Darian again.
I'd love to, yeah. Like I would love to like defeat him here, have him rise back up, and see him come back and like have a real grudge. That'd be fun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goals. Well then.
Okay.
Then Bravo will leave his jacket here, and I'll be back for that in a sec. If I die, bury me in it, sort of, and then walk out to the field there and meet Darian.
Excellent.
I'll address the gathering, and this duel will be with blades and to the first blood.
Nice.
The participants are ready.
And
I wait for Darian to nod, or
Darian looks over and, with all of the acting might that only he can muster, gives you a very curt nod, and then returns to boring holes into his opponent with his eyeballs.
You may begin.
Okay, fabulous. I'll just faff about with my map for some reason. I don't know why I'm doing this. Oh yes, I want this. Really helpful. Right, so I'm just going to put some tools on. So I have a little schematic here in case we need it of the sort of like components in a duel.
Sure.
You have here, because you have a shield and he has a shield, just in case you need to move assets around into the appropriate bits.
Appreciate.
We've got these so we can move around so that we can keep track of where moved assets are, or assets that you have attempted to sort of like disable. And now this is an extended test. And so on the right hand side I'm going to set up the requirement target, and his discipline combined with the quality of his defensive assets makes this a 6-point requirement target. So in terms of you to be able to defeat him, that's what you need to reach. So you'll find the requirement target is set on the right hand side, if you can see that all right. Little clock. Yep, excellent.
It feels like I'm filling out all the pie circles in Trivial Pursuit, which
Now, this situation that you're in is precarious and potentially dangerous. You don't know this man. You don't know how honorable he is. So, because of the circumstance that you're in, I'm generating 2 threat.
Ooh. Okay.
Might help if I put that on the right layout. And I'll just double check him, because sometimes you have characters who have talents that generate threat when they enter scenes. I don't think he does, but he has a personal threat pool, so I've got that. So he stands there glowering in the sunshine, just sort of like reflecting off his crazy. I mean, he looks like he's in armor there, but that's of has no function as armor, if you see what I mean. It is merely an impressive outfit. However, his personal shield certainly does function as armor, but of course to the slow blade, it's not an obstacle. So let's.
And I'll activate my shield as well.
Yeah, he does.
Sort of limber up and.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to try to seize the initiative, go first. I'll attack first.
Yep. He has his shield activated, and he has his blade in hand, and even cursory glance tells you that it is a fine weapon. Little Phoebe there. Yeah, but you have the initiative. You get to go first. He's not seizing it.
Great. Okay. For dueling, he may want to start with his sword out, like in his guard. Like, is he left or right-handed?
He's right-handed. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Are you going to be on the left or on the right here on our little schematic?
I was going to tell you what I'll do is if I can move Brava, I'll put him. Does he show up if I put him on the top? No, he doesn't if I don't put him on there.
No, because it's an overlay, so
no.
Don't.
It's an overlay, of course it is. That would be too easy. I'll be on the right, if that's okay. I'll do the green.
Okay. And then, yeah, I'm going to stick his... He's obviously got his belt on, and let me pop his sword in the right quadrant there. Okay. Yep, so he's sword out.
I chucked him under, but he's underneath the overlay under there. It's fine. Yeah.
Hang on.
So I will
Never to
then
be seen.
use
He's
never
hidden.
to be. He's hiding. He's running away.
He's really hard to get
like-
hold of as well. Hang
Right.
on.
I know it's gonna be.
Yeah, hang on. Let me. Yeah, one of us operate at a time. Otherwise, we're fighting in a
Oh, it's even better.
slick,
Thank you, sir.
slick. All these tools, slick tools. Right, there we go.
Very cool. Love that it works.
Did you want that? Your sword is in that hand, right?
I'll take it on the right. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect. Works for me.
Go for it.
I'll be on that side. Yeah. That way it's
Congruent.
displayed.
Yeah.
So if I've understand this correctly, I will then move my asset. I will
Yes.
move my sword
Yeah.
into his guard first here
Yeah.
with a. If I understand this correctly, I use a battle test. I'm going to roll a battle, and I'm going to be using duty.
Okay. And could you just remind me of your statement for duty? I just want to check the alignment of the
The
statement.
statement for my duty is my blood for my house. And I would think that applies here.
Yes. Yeah, I was just thinking over the ramifications of that. Yes, I like it. Okay, so I'm very much happy with that, and the sort of like skill test. And what kind of move are you planning to make in this duel?
So at the first step is going to be subtle, because I'd like to be able to keep the initiative going here.
So you're trying to move it in a way whilst his attention is possibly sort of like elsewhere. So this would be part of a sequence of movements we might be making.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It-
I'll need you to
Sort of
describe
a
those.
opening to kind of. Sure. At this point, he's going to try to. He's never fought this man before. He's never even seen him hold a sword. So the first moments he was taught without seeking immediate, without trying to win immediately. The best thing you can do is you may lose an opportunity for a quick victory, but the first moments of like testing out your opponent and kind of like seeing how he responds to things. So it'll be a feint with his left hand open, and then as he kind of moves subtly in with his right to kind of see how he responds.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so it's a subtle move, hoping that he's going to pay attention to your feint and not your sword so much.
Exactly, to see how he responds. And I would like to pay you 1 threat to get an extra die,
You can.
because we have
indeed.
no momentum as we're starting this correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need something. I want to have a third die as we move here.
All right. So this is an opposed test because it's a contest, right? So I set the difficulty rating.
Okay.
I believe, if you understand differently, it's a collaborative exploration.
As
of
I understand,
understanding
it's
the rules.
not. As I understand, the first ones are just they're a
they're
move
moves.
test until I get onto his target. Then it's a opposed.
When you get into an attack,
Because-
right?
Because the difficulty will be his, like, it will be standard 2, unless he has, like, say if I moved from, as I'm understanding it, as if I moved from the left guard to his right guard, it would be 2 plus 1 for the actual asset in there. So that would make it a 3. If I'm moving it.
Yeah,
to an
I get you. It's a
empty
fixed
zone,
DR. Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
2, right?
go for it.
But when I try to move onto his body with the shield on it, that adds another
level.
That's another
Yeah.
success for him.
Yeah.
So the first ones are just move. Go ahead. I'm
And then
talking over you.
when you get into the opposed, isn't the difficulty the number of successes that the enemy
Yes.
rolls?
That the enemy rolls first. Correct.
Yeah.
And they get an extra. So say they roll 3 successes, they get a 4th for having a body shield.
Oh,
personal
okay.
shield.
So the shield, a quality
That,
0.
that quality.
Yeah.
Even a quality
Would
0
get
shield
that.
gives them. Yeah, it gives them a bonus to that. Yeah.
And if
Okay.
they had a quality 1, they'd get like 2.
It
Probably.
would get 2. Yeah.
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 Right. Go for your move.
So first one's a move action. I'm rolling battle and my focus is long blades.
Yep.
And with my duty, and I'm going to take 3 dice. I'll pay you 1 threat for that, and so I get a third, and hopefully generate some momentum here. How are we doing?
Oh.
Okay, I would like to use a power called the Reason I Fight. If I can, I can drop it in the
Yeah, it'd be great if you could just pop it into the chat so we
rule.
can
Is
see
that
that
better for
talent.
everyone? Yeah, so
Yeah.
everyone can see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
first couple of moments are going to be, see if I can. How do I add that to the chat?
You just click on it,
Yeah.
Okay.
on the title of it.
Okay.
Should send it right to the chat.
Did that do it?
Harder.
No. Why am I-
Harder,
what am I
click
doing
faster.
wrong?
Like again.
There it is.
That's it.
Is that what you did?
No, that was me
Click on the
doing it.
thing?
Oh,
I
yeah.
just clicked on my tab. It showed up.
Where did you get that mentat ability from? It's no time for a mind palace.
Okay.
Yeah, so you should just click the trait or the talent, the title of it. It goes
Oh,
orange.
I promise I did. I know. Yeah. Talent. I'm in the compendium. I'm in the.
Oh no, on your
Reason
character.
I-
No, on your
character
character
sheet.
sheet.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Right, stop the recording. Fuck it. No, it's all right. Carry on.
You're telling me to click on it. I
think
pretend
that-
I'm.
I think
There
that
you go. How about
normalizing
that?
Roll20
How about that?
normalizing Roll
Yay.
20 frustration is an important
Oh
part.
my God, he can be
Yeah.
taught. Look, I just playing with sword. All right. So
Nice.
when I attempt a battle test using duty and the
I'm
drive statement
impressed.
lines, I may re-roll 1d20. So I'm going to re-roll
Sweet.
Nice.
that 19 that didn't seem to go in my favor.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll a d20, just a straight d20, and got a 13. I'm trying to get 15 because my battle is 7 and my duty is 8, so total is 15. So that ends up being a success as well. So that's 4 successes.
Excellent. Okay. So you've successfully completed a subtle move. You only needed, if I remember correctly, 3. So you've got a momentum generated. So you
Was
can
there another trait?
not that, or was it 2? So I said
It
as
should
I
be
remember.
2.
Yeah.
It's, unless he's got
Do
unless he's
remind
got a
me.
sword in his, yeah. So 2 momentum.
Yeah. Yeah. So grab your 2 momentum. Put it in the grey space. Oh, you're grabbing it over there.
Got it.
Okay. Fine. Grab it over there. It's a pull.
That's fine. I tried to do the draw thing, and it was like, all right, cool. They're,
Yeah. No, you just want
There you
to
go.
drag and drop. It's if
will do.
if
Love
you
it.
draw it,
yeah,
puts it straight to
please
you.
forgive me while I do this. Yeah, I'm not trying to
Looks like we've already got
sidetrack
you
this. Okay, great.
upstairs.
Do you? Great.
Just over your picture, Brava. Maybe that's just
I
on
trust you to use that overlay way better than myself. So, okay. So that was move subtle. I'd like to move, and now I'm going to retain the initiative,
You do. It costs
For
0.
0 cost.
Yeah.
and I'm going to move again.
Nice.
This time, I'm going to move onto his body. This will be the opposed.
This is the opposed
Roll.
bit. Yes,
So-
yes.
So he rolls his skill, whatever he wants to use, and I will roll my skill, and you set the difficulty
Yeah.
with your roll.
So,
But you'll also get 1 more success technically with your shield. So
okay, so he is going to roll battle. Come on, Darian. And he is deploying his drive of duty. I never desert my mistress. So it's in alignment.
love it.
I'm going to use 2 threat because I have it in the pool. And he has a focus of long blades, So he gets to deploy that.
You spending 2 threat for?
Yep. I haven't. I'm just in the middle of the menu, so I'll get rid of the threat in a second. And he's using his focus.
Well, 2 threat only buys you 1.
Oh,
You
because
need
of
3
it's
threat
not.
to buy
No, it's
2
3
die.
threat. Yeah, he'll spend 1 from his personal pool in order to make that happen.
Just means
So
sorry, I didn't want to.
Well, I've got
4. All right.
yeah. 1, 2. Well, I had 3 in the pool. So
Yeah.
I didn't need to use his personal pool, so he's still got that to rely on. So he spent 3,
you
and
go.
he's got a 14. What has he got there? Is that a crit? No.
The 5 is technically a crit because it's lower than his battle skill.
Yeah.
His focus applies. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's 4 successes.
Yes, 4 altogether.
And if I'm reading that right, actually it's 5 because his
Yeah.
shield counts as a 5th.
That's an extra one. Yeah. So he
Right.
set the bar high. I mean,
Yes,
he
does.
he
Absolutely. Oh no.
he moves
You
defensively
should.
toward you off, and you can see, it's almost like he's on autopilot. So you get the sense that he's a very well drilled combatant.
Nice.
Yeah. Now execute your attack and your
Will do.
move. Yeah.
Move on to him, and that will be I will also spend a momentum. Oh, is this not?
You've got 2 momentum.
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
This is still a move attack. I don't know if this is a
Because you've got to move
contest
it.
until he does an actual attack
It
yet,
has to be moved onto him, and then you can
Right.
attack.
and then attack. I don't think he has to roll for that point.
That's
yet.
a shame.
Like this is just a
'Cause I
move.
rolled
onto
really
him.
well.
I know. I would keep it for the next his attack and say, yeah, that's a brilliant. But we can do it that way. I'm fine with
That's all
move,
right.
for his
You can
battle.
just go,
If I'd rolled lousily,
I'm just trying to-
my standing rule
That's
as a
fine. Here we go.
GM is not to do that. I'll just take the threat back and carry on.
So this is just we're learning the rules as we go here. I will also spend 1 of those momentum. If someone who can access that can delete 1 of those for me, I'll roll a 3rd die. Go.
no, all I did was take your momentum and make it mine.
Wow.
Yeah, I would just leave the one that's use the momentum on the grey area on the right hand side. Don't worry about the one that's currently stuck in. You can just chuck those out, the ones that are attached to your
Got it.
avatars.
Yeah, I see it now. When I reloaded the page, and I was like, I see it now with the fun. All right.
Everyone's nicking everyone's momentum.
I know it's. I'm trying to figure out what to. Okay, move his sword onto him, and it's 3. So I need 3 instead of just the normal 2, if I've got this right.
Yes.
Okay. It helps if I have. Think back. Reloading. All right, here we go. So we're gonna roll battle 1 more time, and I'm still gonna use duty.
Mm-hmm.
And for 3 dice, using my focus of long blades.
Oh, complication. Just
Fun.
what you need.
Actually, I'm going to use my battle test. I'm going to re-roll that 20.
Yeah, I would say that would be a good call.
So we're going to re-roll that natural 20. We don't want the natural 20. We want the 1. Okay, here we go.
Nice.
A 3.
Uh,
So that's a 1, a 12, and a 3 is 5 successes.
Whoa. So there's some momentum to spare there. So now
Enough to
Yeah.
beat his 3
Absolutely.
2 more momentum.
Yeah. So now drag the momentum over to where the other momentum
Here we
is.
go. I'm gonna break the thing again.
This-
See if I can do this without breaking it. 1,
Yes.
2. Oh my God, he can be taught. I'm so nervous. I'm gonna break this stupid thing. Okay. All right.
So describe to me
Now-
how you successfully make that maneuver then, because you managed the.
He's on autopilot.
feint.
Absolutely. I see it. But I have studied this opening. I can see where he's trained now. I can see he never went to a swordmaster school, but he's been in enough combat that he can kind of deflect automatically.
Yep.
And instead of letting my sword be knocked out, I just sort of whip it around and put it right back in on his throat.
Okay. Yeah. And that's the end of your turn, and it falls over to him, right?
Except I would like to spend a point of determination.
Oh.
If you will permit, I will spend a point of determination and take an extra action on my turn.
Yes, you can do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
It's cheating. He's read the rules.
I know it's
I
terrible.
have.
I'm sorry.
I've read the rules, but I don't necessarily. I think 3 of them went in, and about 18 left at the same time.
There were a lot of them, yes. So if you look at page 157, one of the things
Yes.
that you can do with determination is take an extra
action. Yeah.
extra. And my extra action this turn will be an attack.
Hurrah! So
This is when he can roll defensive. This is why I was like, this is why he could keep that. I'm happy to. You can spend the threat and keep that same as his. He has to set the point now, and then I will try to beat it with my
absolutely.
attack.
So I'll do what I was doing earlier. I'm going to spend those 3 threats. Boom, and I'm going to do his battle. And again, you see this is someone who is not schooled particularly elegantly in sword fighting, but his skill derives from practical application. He's a military man, so it's a battle with duty. He spent 3 threat. So he's got 4 dice. He's using his focus.
Ooh.
Well,
Patience.
now I wish I'd kept the other bloody well.
Brilliant.
NPC.
Sorry?
Can NPCs get complications, or is that just a?
Yes, they can get complications, absolutely. So, he is going to spend his determination to re-roll that 20.
That's a good choice.
So that's a 7.
7?
Yep, so he's got 2 successes by my reading.
That I got as well.
And a shield.
Okay. Right. So it's total, I have to
with
beat
shield,
3.
right?
So
You have to beat
my
3.
point is 3
Yeah,
or more.
3 with
Three or
the
more.
shield.
Mhm.
Yeah, so what this looks like is, that, he doesn't, and, he is somewhat surprised. Perhaps he has misread you, that he's overconfident. He's a bit of an overachiever, this guy. And he foolishly thought that you would be straightforward. He didn't expect this flurry of blows, these feints. He brings his sword round in a defensive posture, but perhaps not as swift as it could be. So yeah, go for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely big. If he hit me, it's going to hurt, but he can't hit what I can't, what's not in front of him. So I will spend a point of momentum for this attack.
Yep, you've got 3, so that's 2 left.
So I'll spend 1, and then so I will roll an extra die, an extra d20. So I'll be rolling 3 d20 here on the attack. And before I roll, I will be using a power called weapon focus.
Okay. Can you?
I'm going to drop that in the chat.
Yeah, and
because I
it's
learned how
just
to do
going to
that.
be smooth as butter because we're now experts in Roll20.
Now I know how to do that. When making an attack using any sword in combat, you may substitute any d20 in your dice pool for a result of 1 without rolling and without spending determination.
Yeah, as if you were. So
So,
that is a
We'll
lovely,
start that.
lovely tab.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's super focused and super useful, but this is the focus and this is the use. So he's going to roll 2d20 and add a 1 to it. So 1 was already a 20. 1 is already a 1.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
he'll roll battle for 2d20 with duty and using a focus.
Go and cheer for him. Smirk can't do it.
Oh, nice.
So that's 1 success.
One
so a total of
success,
3
successes.
so far.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I will use the
The reroll ability.
the reason I fight
Yeah.
to do reroll that other d20, the 16. So
Reroll the 0.
for a 4, which
Oh,
is
much better.
technically 2 successes, so it's 5.
Go on.
Oh, very nice. So you.
Which beats his 3 and get 2 momentum, and I'll put the blade right at his neck with the attack and just draw the faintest drop of blood, like
Very
just
nice.
enough to it's passed through the shield slow enough that the blade rests against his neck, and then just a scratch enough to put just enough to draw red.
Now, just as you're doing that, you're executing this slick maneuver, and I think you probably have, a brief moment where your mind recalls all the drilling that you've done with Corvus, sort of like over the last few months. You get this niggling little voice in your head. It was the whisper of William Taroff saying, "Keep this going for as long as you can." But you technically draw blood.
Right. But okay, so I was yes. Okay, so can I retcon that?
You can retcon that. Yeah.
So as that voice says in my head, he'll put the flat of the blade against his throat, and then kind of shove him away.
Okay. So whilst you've done no physical harm to him, you have, on the other hand, bested him. So this is an extended test, so you need to get to 6.
Right.
So, he seems shook by your actions. He knew that you were through his shield. You could have taken blood then. His eyes widen. He blanches white for a brief moment because that could have been a killing blow. If you'd been on the battlefield, that would have been a killing blow. So when we do the requirement, it's normally 2 plus the quality of the weapon that you're using. Do you get?
Correct.
Have you got a quality 1 sword? Or?
I had put on my sword as a quality 1, but I wasn't sure if we'd ever had that conversation. I know that I wanted to have that conversation,
That's
but
fine.
I can.
Yeah.
For our,
so that's 3. So whilst
that's
you
3,
haven't
so
met,
that's halfway there. It's
you
enough
haven't.
to, like,
Yeah.
it's not all 6, but
No. So let's.
no, I wasn't trying to cut you off. Yeah, but it's definitely. I'm trying to draw this out, and it
I
feels
get
a
you.
lot like
Yeah.
Inigo Montoya. Like if I beat him with one hand, it's too quickly. It's just like let's draw this out a
Absolutely.
bit.
So in terms of humiliating him on the battlefield, you're halfway towards your sort of like requirement here. If you were to do that
Indeed.
again, unless you hit, even though you haven't met the win condition, technically he would know if he's an honourable man that he's been defeated by you, right?
You'd know, of course.
Absolutely.
He might just want to give up before he dies accidentally.
He may do. So you both settle back into into your sort of like stances. It's now his turn, but before we do that,
Yes.
I'm just going to cut because as a GM learning new rules, what I find the best thing to do is make things as complicated as possible and run two different conflicts simultaneously, potentially.
I love that.
So, you know, I'm really grateful to you, Sherpa Steve, for really boning up on the dueling rules, because it's really helpful to run it like this. Now, I'm just going to turn you have been observing, because these actions aren't one attack, one defense, you know, they're whole combinations of moves. So there's plenty of time here. What would William Tarosh, Blake Smirk, and Tehran Corrado like to do? Let's give you a turn. I mean, Tehran, you're kind of locked into being an officiator. But, you know, what are you all wanting to do as this duel continues?
I'm in a chair, so that's a bit of good luck, isn't it?
I put you in there because I thought that would really suit you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, traditionally, Blake's the front of house guy, so he's not really top for whatever William's got in mind, which I imagine isn't front of housey.
It's back of house.
Back up.
Yeah.
It's basement of house.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kitchen, in it? Front house, and then the chefs, and either the two will mix.
William, what are you doing?
I don't know.
And what is Blake doing? Come on.
Well, the second I see that this is starting and hoping that her focus is on that, I'm keeping an eye through these big glass windows everywhere for,
Yes.
you know, the housekeeper, make sure Consuela appears in every game now. Make sure Consuela isn't around. And then I want to just go in and see if I can find any actual evidence to, you know, support my bullshit claim of evidence
Okay.
of anything.
And this, you know, so you, Blake, from your chair position, are able to see what William is up to. It might help you to know this, you know. And Ava Vesarian has very much got her. She's got the very thin lips that women get, and she is observing this duel, you know, as it sort of like unfolds. So her attention is very much focused ahead. William, as you glance around, see, because this building is peppered with floor-to-ceiling glass windows. It's like the DM designed it for this. You do see actually the housekeeper. She's in this. I don't know if you can see her now. You should be able to.
See it.
Yeah. You can just see her through the window. She has got, you know, it's like a sort of small basket of vegetables. And she seems to be in the middle of cooking duties.
All right, so can I see, because I know, like you say, there's a lot of floor-to-ceiling glass. Is that there a staircase?
It is a
that goes up?
staircase, absolutely, yes.
And is there also a lot of glass in here? Is there anywhere that looks actually more private? Like these two rooms?
They all have, because it's a beachfront property, it's taken advantage of the view. But you did notice when you entered the property that on the right-hand side of the map, so over here, this room, it has lots of glass windows, but they were all shuttered. Whereas every other glass window
Where are you picking?
here. Can you see that?
Nope. You're on this layer.
Why can't you see that? Oh, it's because you're on the wrong layer. Here.
There we go.
This side here.
That's shuttered.
These are all shuttered.
Okay.
Yeah. All of these are open. All of these are open, and the ones around the kitchen also are open as well. So this appears to be a secluded area on the first floor.
Okay. And Consuela's the only person I can see in there?
Yes.
So I'd like to, you know, probably edge up to this door and on the slide just try the handle and see if it's actually unlocked. And then if it is, keep my eye on the housekeeper.
Yeah.
and time it so that when I think she's distracted, I can get sort of to the shuttered room to try the door, or at least get some cover from that staircase.
Sure. I mean, you could just be standing observing and just sort of like reach behind you, so you don't even have to turn around as you sort of like glance
Yeah.
to keep an eye on her, and the handle turns easily, and you feel the door, wanting to give an open. It's unlocked, easy to open.
So yeah, then I'll make for that room when I think it's safe.
Okay, so I'm going to want a move roll here to do this discreetly.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah. What drive are you using here?
I'm hoping I'm going to use my power comes at a knife's edge, because it's risky. I know this is risky, even if she turns around.
Yeah.
Nick, feel free to use one of those momentum. I'm good.
Cool.
There are
Well,
four
I
in the
hopefully
pool. I don't know if you
get
can.
you some back. Yeah, I can use.
Yeah,
some.
no, of course. But feel free to take one to make sure you can get an extra to make sure this works.
Oh, cool.
And Blake,
Alright,
you
cool.
could support this maneuver if you wanted to.
I was just going to ask, could I support it by distracting
For sure.
Milady here, whose name I've forgotten, of course.
Yeah.
Anna, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like feign concern over Dolph. Like, oh no, he's not very good, is he?
I love it. Okay. Yeah.
By someone who can act though.
It's a D20 roll that you're going to make in support. It sounds like you're doing a bit of a communication roll there for that.
Yeah. Do I do that from the character sheet? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because you can dial the dice down. When it says 2 to
You
7
start
one.
by
Okay.
clicking skill, and then you choose a drive.
Yeah, choose a drive. So what's
Do I need to do mine first? Because can you not only assist somebody who's already succeeded?
Already rolled.
So if I balls it up, then you don't need to do it anyway.
do your roll first,
Alright.
and then Blake, you can do your support roll after that. So go ahead.
Okay.
I'll start
So I'm
working out
gonna
what button
use-
to press now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my sneaky move. My drive is power.
Yeah. Taking a risk that's very much in alignment.
Now, I get the first extra D23 because of subtle step.
Nice.
So can I then buy one off you for one dice? Is that right?
Yes.
For one
Momentum.
momentum, yeah.
Yeah.
So and I've got a focus in stealth.
Nice.
And I guess, can I use one of my personality traits is infiltrator? I mean,
Yeah, you can use that to
it
lower
seems
the
like
difficulty level.
perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry.
So before you roll,
Took one of the
should-
momentum off
yeah.
the board.
Yeah.
Before I roll, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Before,
What's the difficulty level?
Wow. All
Yeah.
right, there you go.
It's handy-
Yeah, we got 3 now.
just as a rule of thumb, before we roll skill tests,
Yeah.
pause, so I can tell you the
I
difficulty
realised
level,
before-
because then you want to
Oh, yeah.
judge your pool size accordingly.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you reduced it by 1, so this took it down to a D2.
Okay.
So you got 2 successes.
Yeah, I got 2 successes and I spent 1 momentum.
You
There you
did.
go.
I already did that.
Okay, put that back.
Wow,
There you
okay.
go.
Thanks.
Okay, and it was a D2. It reduced it to a D1. Is that right? So I get
No,
one.
it was a D3.
But,
You reduced to a D2.
But I'm also going to get an assist from Blake
You are indeed.
to see
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you can get us some momentum as well.
Did you
Just
not
wondering
have
why
a
mine didn't put
focus?
I did, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It didn't. put any of that on there. I wonder
But
why.
you
Do
would have
not
been
roll
using a
focus. Yeah,
focus.
both of a 3 and a 4, both of those
Yeah,
focus.
those are
would be
crits.
Yeah,
certainly within your
I'm
focus.
saying
Yeah,
I
yeah.
put them all in, but it didn't
Well,
it
never
give me the
mind.
options.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but let's accept that as what it should be, which is 2 crits. So you've got 4 successes.
Right, okay.
Mamma mia.
Yeah. So you've
Do I
got.
need to worry about focuses and things doing a supporting role, or do I just go for it?
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
Couldn't hurt. I mean,
Yeah, because you could get a crit as well.
You could
right?
get a
you
crit,
could get a
and it's
crit as well. Yeah.
even more momentum. It's always worth it.
Can I go with diplomacy or persuasion for this?
That's your focus. Either would work.
Yeah, they are. All right, there we go. Yippee!
Brilliant.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay.
Right, okay. So that's what, total of 5?
5.
A
Yeah.
total of 5 successes.
And we needed 2.
Correct. So you've
Yeah. So we
generated
get 3
3
back,
momentum.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
thank
I
you.
nearly put the right one.
That's it. Don't
Two.
stick them in the avatar.
Love it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And
Nice.
I get to, like, over here? I'd sort of try that door.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
So
all, yeah.
you've moved from one zone into the next. If you wanted to, upstairs is yet another zone. That's
Okay.
how I'm sort of like zoning it, sort of like
Oh,
out here.
cool.
So if you want, yeah, you can absolutely stop there and listen at that door. And I would like some kind of observation, sort of like test, sort of like here,
Okay,
and
so
then
yeah,
we'll
I
switch
stop
back.
and ear to the door and see if I can hear anything moving.
Yep.
Tell me what kind of skill that'd be.
It could be discipline.
Communicate?
Because it's I've
Yeah.
a
Depending on what
focus
you're
and
trying to
observe.
control your heart rate and your breath so that you can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do discipline. I'm gonna stick, if it's cool, I'm gonna stick with the power comes at a knife's edge because I'm
Still taking a risk. Yeah.
mid risk. Okay, and
You
what's
are.
the difficulty
Ah.
rating?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Right, okay. So use my power, I use which drive? Now I have a focus and observe. I will take 1 of those momentum for 1 extra dice. I've got 3 dice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using a focus, yes. Submit.
Go for
Hell
it.
yeah.
Oh.
So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
I spent 1, so let me delete the 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get 1, 2.
Yeah.
I needed 3.
So you get
So
2
I've got
back.
2 momentum back.
You need to
But
spend.
we have a pool of 6. So I'm going to use the extra 1 that I can't stack in the pool
Yep.
to buy, what's it called, like a extra information?
Yeah, you can
You can
obtain
ask
information.
more
You can,
Chain information.
yeah.
Mhm.
Ask
Obtain information, yeah, for that
Yeah.
extra 1.
ask a question
Smart.
of me about the scene or the situation that you would like to know.
Okay, so the first, because of the success of the roll, does
Yep.
it sound like there's anyone in there first
Okay,
before I
so
use the extra?
yeah, it is very quiet inside that chamber beyond, but what you pick up just at the last moment is a almost like white noise buzz coming from inside it.
Okay, so with the extra point to obtain information, what is it? That buzz?
Yeah.
Talion.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of 2 things in your experience, and you don't like either of them. One, it might be a kind of device for effectively muffling ambient sound. or it's a hunter-killer. And a hunter-killer,
I don't know what that is.
a hunter-killer, William knows, is a short-range, remote-operated assassin's device. It's like a hypodermic syringe with an AV field that floats around, with a needle with usually lethal toxins inside that it can inject into its target.
So it's like a booby trap.
It's an assassin's killing machine, like a little
It's a remote
missile.
control poison needle.
Yeah.
So, and also
yeah.
the operator has to, like, the operator is on this island somewhere, not like off on another continent or planet.
Oh, sure, I get that.
So it's either.
But what I mean is it like a booby trap, or when you say it's remote control, does somebody have to activate it?
It's actively piloted by someone. Yeah.
Okay. Like, how big is it? Does it mean there's a guy in there controlling it?
It's needle size. It's like, maybe you could hold it in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
A couple of inches, if that. Varying designs, varying age, but. So it's either an obfuscation device, or it's a hunter-killer.
Okay.
And let me leave you there whilst you ponder the ramifications of that. And we head back outside, where it is now Darian Lundgren's turn. And I have
now, Steve, may I? When I shoved him away, can I assume I reset my sword back since it's with me?
Yes. Yeah. I think that's reasonable.
It also draws out the combat a little bit more. It means I have to move in again. And I can't do the same thing because I don't have another point of determination.
Yeah. Okay, he's going to leverage his trait as an overachiever. He's going to spend a threat for an extra dice, and he is.
Do you have any threat?
He's got a personal threat pool. I've got none in the pool,
okay.
but he's got his personal use, so I'm using that. To boldly move his sword into your guard.
Okay.
And it's at this point that I have to remember that you rolled 20. It's quite. That's what I was saying. You have to get off.
There you go.
Yeah, you have to click on various things before you can do anything. So that's what he's attempting to do. So it's a bold move.
Bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Right, come on, Dolph. I mean, Darian. Battle. Come here. Judy. He's got an extra dice. And he's reduced the difficulty rating by 1 because he's leveraging his trait.
Ooh. What trait is that?
Overachiever.
Oh, it's not describing him. That's an actual talent. Nice. Okay.
Yes.
I love it.
Well, the trait is both, right? The trait is something you
it's both, yeah.
Impact that has a mechanical impact, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. 3 successes on a 1 difficulty.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
So when he does that as a bold move, unlike a subtle move, he would have to spend threat to retain the initiative, I presume, if I remember the rules correctly. But there's an advantage into a
And you
bold
can
move.
move. Yeah, you can move one of my assets a different zone.
Yeah. So that's what he's going to do. So your blade at the moment is back in your guard.
Right.
Where's the most advantageous zone to put it? Yeah, could he grab his blade and move your blade into his guard? So that if you're going to
Sure.
defend with it, yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah. Almost like trapping it, like kind of like letting it come through and.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sort of like, you know, as he's making this bold move with the blade, you know, and your attention goes to that, what you don't see is his hand come up out of the shield slowly, grasp your wrist and start to bring you in. It's like an Aikido move.
Nice.
Kind of with the sword sort of like going on.
Love it.
Yeah. And I think that then... So he's wrestling your blade sort of like into his guard. Right. I think that's him done unless I'm going to spend threat.
And you don't want to. I was going to say you don't want to spend threat to kind of move on to my.
Yeah.
Target.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think I will. He spent one. He's going to spend another threat to have a go at that.
We'll keep the initiative cost too.
Yeah. So that's all of it. He's going to have to spend 2, as you say. That's 3 out of his.
I might be trying to deplete your threat pool, but I don't know. I mean, maybe that's.
Yeah, so retaining the initiative. I think he's going to go in for an attack here. I think he can do that, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
He has to move on to me first. He has to move the asset on, and then when it's on there, then he can attack.
So if he's moved it into his garb, he then has to move it into his body. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, so he's got 2 steps to do, and then he can do his attack. Learning. Okay. Yeah. So he'll do that as a bold. Now he hasn't got any extra dice to spend because he spent them in order to retain the initiative. So we're just going to have to go with the standard 2 dice.
And to move on to my target, it has a shield, so it adds an extra difficulty.
Yep.
So it's a D3 to move on to get into onto the target zone.
Yep. It's going to be interesting.
And you say you're moving boldly, or you're moving?
It's just bold. Yeah. I wonder.
Good.
Did he spend his determination earlier?
He did.
Yeah, so I've lost that.
He had a complication roll.
Yeah, to get rid of that.
So
because I was going to disarm him. If you gave me a chance, like what's a complication, I was going to knock his sword away or something.
Yeah, well, so I have to pray for a crit.
We all do.
I think I must have re-rolled. I must have rolled there wrong. What did he go? Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one. What did we get?
1 success.
1 success. So not good enough. So he attempts this sort of like bold maneuver, but you're ready for him. And you know, yeah, I mean, this is a move that you've seen before, but executed with a great deal more finesse than this guy is able to sort of like muster.
Ah, that's Riga's offense.
Yes, I recognise that. I should use Beretti's. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like chess openings. Oh, I've seen these. Oh, using Benetti's defense against me, huh?
Yeah. So you know, he's got you in his guard, but sorry.
So does the move succeed even if the bold part doesn't?
No.
Okay.
No. If you fail, you may not spend momentum on additional movement, and one enemy may move a single asset one zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you may not.
So so that means normally I would move, if this was another fight, if this was a different kind of fight, I would move my sword onto his zone. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move his sword back away from me.
Okay. So it's a real
back into his guard.
Back and forth. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I can see it coming, and then just kind of like with the shield kind of pushing a little faster than the shield can let it penetrate. So kind of pushing his arm back into his guard.
Yeah. So we might hear the attenuation on the shield generator, just sort of like being sort of like pressed as you get like the timing perfectly right,
sliding up against each other.
And this was a sort of like move that you've been learning with Corvus, and up until now you haven't ever succeeded in doing it on him. But
nice.
About sort of like timing your movement sort of like precisely, almost to the sort of frequency vibrations of the shield, sort of like itself, and you can sort of like slip between them. You never really grokked that in training, but here in this moment with a real threat, it works perfectly.
It's not training, and he got it when it wasn't, in the moment.
Yeah, when he needed it. Yeah.
He turned his brain off enough to where he needed it. Love it.
Well, that's that. So.
Okay. Well,
I do believe we're doing entire
I am
turn.
going to. Yes. Yeah. Do we need to cut back, or do you want Brava to try to attack?
I'm just going to interject with, while I'm watching this.
Yeah, go on.
I am going to occasionally peek at the door where William disappeared. Isn't back, and it looks like Sherpa's about to, Brava is about to kill or draw blood.
Yeah.
We'll shout, hold.
Oh.
I'm technically the end of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you are keeping an eye on the door behind you, just glancing at it and keeping an eye and sort of like preparing to say that.
And you shouted, hold?
I'm not shouting anything. So you don't know.
Okay.
This would be meta to you. I'm just telling. But my plan is,
Appreciate it.
if it looks like you're about to cut somebody open, I'm gonna tell you to stop.
Absolutely. Please do.
And Anna is laser focused on what she sees in front of her. Blake, I mean, you've seen, sort of little intakes of breath and huffs of frustration as she sees her man's bold moves just being elegantly steered around like a jiu-jitsu master, moving their uki to exactly where they need them. Is there anything you want to be doing in this moment?
I'm going to feel like what I want to be doing kind of rests on the outcome of the duel in a way, because we've already decided that's the way we're going to
win the conflict.
Like decide the outcome of our previous arguments. So he's probably just going to try and keep attention on himself by just being loud, I guess.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a D0 for you.
Yeah.
I try to show it.
Nearly. Quite though. Oh dear.
Okay. So that's that sort of like in the moment. Now, Brava, execute your move, and then I'll switch over to see what's going on with William, who's having kittens.
Absolutely. Exactly. So I'm going to move boldly at this point. I'm going to move my. I've got enough. My thinking is I've got enough momentum. I can spend it to keep the initiative if this works. So
yeah.
Is that everybody on board with that?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to move boldly onto his person again. So this will be a D3 unless there's anything.
No.
Is that sound correct?
Yeah, okay. That's right. There's nothing else extra on that.
Okay, so he's going to use battle. And and duty. And roll. He's going to spend a point of momentum to get a third die.
Yep.
And using a focus, yes.
Nice.
Okay, that's
2 successes.
one momentum down.
Yep.
And then I will re-roll that 19.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to build up the momentum here. That's 2 successes. God, I need it, huh? All right, so let's see if I can do here. Figure this out, and this time I'll actually use the character sheet and not just the support thing on the side. So we'll do battle. Again, we'll re-roll duty. 1 die with a focus. Yes. Give me that natural 1. Come on. An 8. Okay. That's 1 success. That's 3 successes. I needed 3. I got 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
Just enough. So I move it onto him, and because I'm moving boldly, I get to move one of his assets a different zone.
Yeah.
So I've figured him out now. I know that he's right-handed, so I push his sword into his left guard.
Excellent.
So kind of like knock his sword away,
Yeah,
and I'm kind of up and like kind of holding his arm and holding the knife like up under his the exposed vitals.
Yeah, and you see the sort of like the cords on his neck. He's a heavily muscled guy, sort of like whiplash, sort of like taut, and you can see he looks distinctly uncomfortable because you've put him into, a disadvantageous posture that he's not used to using. This is not his natural position. Excellent.
And in order to draw so I've moved boldly, I move one of his assets, and in order to draw the combat out, I rethought my position. I am not going to spend 2 momentum. I'm not going to keep the initiative. I'm not going to attack again. I'm gonna let it ride and keep going. I'm kind of moving in with him, and I move a little. I make it look like I have gone a little too fast, but I kind of like slam up again. It does no damage. It doesn't actually hurt. And instead of hitting him with the blade, I hit him with my fist, kind of like shove him in the ribs a little bit.
Yeah.
As if I could have. It's almost like counting coup. I could have killed him if I wanted to, but kind of like give him a little shot there just to let him know I'm there.
Yeah. So we've got 2 moves here,
turn.
so it's not going any further down the requirement track.
Nope.
But it passes to his turn. But at this moment, I want to see how William is doing indoors. So there you are, William, sort of like
Exactly.
in this tense
We
moment.
want to see how the infiltration's going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So the hunter killer seeker thing.
Query.
If it's that, do I
Yes.
know? If it was that, do I know how to deal with
potential.
those? I know what they are. I'm an infiltrator. I must have a clue about how they work and stuff.
Well, you've heard that they can be. I mean, they could potentially be disarmed if you had access to the right equipment. You might be able to create an asset for that. They could be manually handled, and you can block them. They could be grappled. I've heard tell that because of the avian field, they'll be slippery on the underside. So there are ways of neutralizing them, if it is that.
Right. Okay. And the other thing it might be.
They won't. William would probably know that they don't generally the optics system on them is quite poor, and won't pick somebody up unless they're moving. So if you can
It's a
stay in
T-Rex.
perfect
Yeah.
Vision is based
It's
on
a
movement.
tiny
Okay.
floating T-Rex.
Right. And the other thing it might be, you said something about white noise, like just a
It could.
dampener for.
Yeah, I mean, you've come across different kind of obfuscation devices in infiltration. That it might be some kind of dampening device. These things are continuously being developed. So it could be something like that is putting out a signal in order to prevent snooping and detection.
Right, okay. Well, regardless, I'm going to, I guess, very slowly open the door if it's open.
Yeah, it's openable.
And yeah, very slowly, like, edge in there, keeping an eye out for whatever it is in there.
Okay, and I'm going to retain because I don't believe in rolling. And this is Dune because you've already got a very good stealthy move going on. This continues.
Oh, okay.
And you slip open the door and just open a crack to start to see through. Is that your intention?
Yep.
Okay.
See if I can tell what it actually is.
And as you sort of like open it up a crack, you see the back of someone sat at the desk in front of you. And
Okay.
she has on the desk in front looks like a Communinet terminal, various flimsy sort of like records, sort of, and writing paraphernalia, and there is also quite a large object which you recognize to be this kind of sensory obfuscator, putting out this white noise hum throughout the office, and it's almost like a palpable field. Like you can almost feel it, like a physical energy. She's paying no attention to you.
Okay. She's got her back to me. What I would really like to do, I mean, I don't want to hover in the doorway because of Consuela. I don't want her to like end up walking in here.
You want it lemonade, mistress?
What I'd like to do is, I know this is a bit cheeky and risky as well. I'm going to, and tell me if I can't do it, I'm going to sneak right up to her and just nick her with this slip tip and just knock her the hell out.
Ooh.
And then have a read about what's going on there.
Okay, let me have a look at this. A slip tip can render even the strongest opponent powerless just by scratching the skin. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so I am going to require you, in order to get up and administer that, to make a skill test.
Okay.
I think you could use this. I mean, you could use battle if you wanted, but you could equally. It hardly requires any physical strength. It's more of a move.
Yeah. Yep. That's cool with me. I want to like stealthy it up.
What kind of drive? What's driving you here?
This is definitely power comes out of knife edge still. Just again because of the riskiness, because I can, I'm after this. I'm after some information, and this isn't the regular stuff we expect to see in somebody's like holiday home, right?
No.
This big covery up, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to have a nosy at that.
Does the noise generator actually make William's job easier in this case?
It kind of does, actually.
Hell
It's
yeah.
working both ways in a way, but it's working to your advantage. So, I was about to say, I mean, you've got an environmental trait which is lowering the difficulty level. Are there any personal traits that you want to leverage?
I could use Infiltrator again, or I've got Ruthless, if that's relevant. Like, I don't know who this woman is. She could be her mom or something.
I think they're both potentially
don't
useful.
care.
If you're going to stab her
Nice.
with a potentially
Hell yeah.
lethal poison, that certainly is Ruthless. And infiltration is all, what this is all about. So that's 3 levels of difficulty you're reducing it down to. And this was a D3.
Nice. Okay. So I do move.
Yep.
I do the power.
Yep. Focus.
I do. I'm gonna. Oh, hang on.
I know you can buy the first die for free, but you may want to get.
I get the
yeah. I was gonna say.
I get the first dice for free. I'm gonna buy one more. I got 4 dice.
Nice.
This is just going to be a massive momentum build.
Stealth. Now,
Too bad
you
we
know
capped
this.
out at 6. I mean, you know.
Well, I'm not completely clear because maybe I didn't read it properly. But is this outright going to kill her? Depending on the poison, can it just knock her out?
It's on
or
the
is this to kill
depends on the poison you've chosen. So you can have a quick, quiet death, or a long, torturous one, according to this asset.
Yeah, I that's what I'm saying. I've just read that. So can the poison chosen be just something to knock her out, or is this what it is? If it is, then it's fine because I would have known that anyway.
It says some with dangerous intent carry them. You know, I mean, it's usually used, you know, to kill people. But I'm happy.
That's fine.
If you want to have it as, you know, as non-lethal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't actually want to.
Because otherwise, you're going from espionage to assassin super quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
And before we understand who this because. Yeah, then we got to just hide a dead
is,
body, you know. Now we got to figure out how we were.
That means we have to
Also,
kill Consuelo.
Veritas person here where he's not going to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so
I don't know if we want a body count on the duel or in the study, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a knockout and a terrible hangover and a shit memory afterwards.
All the things that you want. It all sounds like a good night out to me.
Yes. Okay. Submit. Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
So I get 1, 2,
really
3,
need to
4,
see.
5.
Yeah.
5 successes.
5 successes.
Right. Now, obviously, I can only bank so much of that.
Yeah, but
so
you can spend a bit.
I need to spend some of it. So I got 5, and I needed 0.
And it was was a 2 difficulty?
It was a D3, and I reduced it by 3. Right. So I got 5 momentum. So we got 5. There's your 6. I got 3 more. I'm just going to put them down here so I don't forget for 1 second.
Yeah, you can.
I want to spend these immediately. So William, tiptoes over really, really carefully. I look at the back of her. I get this little slip tip knife and just catch her maybe just behind her ear, somewhere she isn't going to see it. She thinks it's like an insect bite or something. After a second, she's on the floor. And then I guess I will use these. What can I use the extra?
Some of the momentum could go.
Obtain information?
Obtain information, yeah. So I could spend 3 to obtain 3 things of information. But also, I can spend 2 to get a new trait, right?
Yes.
I was going to say create a trait in the room, like undisturbed, or a trait that says, you know, like, yeah, I don't.
And
is that a trait for me, for myself, or is it a trait for like just the scene or whatever?
Well, you can set up a trait for the scene, which would give everyone an advantage if you can think of one that works.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What if you create an asset of like a blanket and a pillow, and then you can throw them on the couch, and the whole thing kind of looks.
Sure.
Just having a nap.
I do that.
Like she just having a snooze.
I'm tired and lie down, and she's gonna wake up and be like, "Oh man, I must not have been feeling well."
Yeah, hell yeah, I'll do that. So I'd spend the 2 momentum, like gently, like place her on the couch with a blanket and whatnot.
Nice.
And then I will look at what's going on with this equipment. Because like you say, William will know. I've no clue, but William will know what it's all about.
And you've still got a momentum there, so you can attain further
Got
information.
one left, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, do I have to
I
spend
will
that
roll.
straight away to just look at the screen?
No. I mean, what? Let me give you a few things that are immediately sort of like
Right.
noticeable as you take her down and lay her down gently and place the blankets and arrange her in a position that she's going to think that she just took a nap. Um, you recognize the uniform immediately. That this woman
Okay.
is a spy master in House Barragan.
Shit. Okay.
And I mean, you flash back to one of the endless briefings that Veritas has given you. And
Subjected us to.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you dredge up that this must be. Oh, hang on a minute.
Give us a name. Oh, here we go.
Helena Kalimar.
Okay.
So that's one thing. And then you glance at her fairly rapidly, and you take that all in. It's mainly the uniform that gives it away. But I mean, very rapidly, you pretty much were swaddling her into a blanket and laying her down in one smooth motion as you created that asset, and then you glance over at the screen, and you can see that it appears to be uh, a lot of information, some kind of accounting information.
Oh, okay. Okay. As I look at it, immediately what I think is we had a sort of rumor that because of Anna Vesarian's spice addiction, she were like, there were some discrepancies in like the house funds, in that maybe she'd been like taking the house funds to fuel her hobby.
Yeah.
Does any of that come up on there that I can see?
Is that your obtain information question?
Oh yeah, I'll spend that. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, I mean, you start to sort of like decipher it and make sense of it. Yeah, these are spice transactions, and it looks like the person is in the middle of. It looks like creating an extra column in their Excel spreadsheet or the equivalent thereof,
Okay.
for to provide alternative interpretations of what these transactions mean. That you seem to have caught this woman in the middle of fabricating evidence and trying to cover up the sheer scale of Anna Vesarian's habit.
Okay.
Wow. Nice.
Right, and if I spent more momentum to create another asset, it would only be for this scene, right? So I couldn't create like a, I don't know, USB stick. But is there one in like her desk? I haven't got one in my pocket. Is there some way? Oh, can I just send it?
Yes, you
I
can.
send the information to like
You
Veritas
can.
or something.
Yeah, I think in your next action,
Yeah.
you will be
I'll do
able
that.
to figure out a way to take this file
Yeah.
and send it through the communinet to somewhere
Brilliant.
secure. Awesome.
What I do then is just like assuming there's some kind of lock on that door, lock it, and then just sit down at the desk and crack on with that. So Consuela don't come in.
Okay, excellent. And we will switch back, but first I think it might be a good idea to take a wee tea break.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Great job, Nick. Wow.
Good old thing.
That was great. That's an awesome win for us.
Jammy. Wow. Thank you for keeping the fight going long enough for me to sneak in.
Absolutely outstanding.
After that first hit, I was like, oh my god, you're gonna like shit.
I realized I'm like, oh wait, draw it out.
He's just too good, damn it.
That's the equivalent of like somebody like going like off stage, like no, keep going.
Yeah.
So, cup of tea in hand. I think I need it. Tension is unbearable. So we cut back from the efforts of William to infiltrate going smoothly. I think as the camera sort of like pans around through this apartment complex of Anniversarians, we would just hear the sound of the servant in the kitchen area assembling a light repast, oblivious, and then focusing back down into the garden where these dueling contestants are grappling, and Darian will now. What's the state of play? Get over to the overlay. So, you have moved his asset into into the wrong part of his gut. So it's almost like he's like this in an awkward sort of like position.
Shifted out.
Yeah.
Position. Mm-hmm.
And you have his blade right up in his grill.
And my sword is right in this.
Absolutely. So he's going to attempt a move, from this awkward position, and perhaps with a turn, try and do what I consider to be the worst kind of sword fighting technique I ever see, which is reverse blade, and get it into your left guard. So that's what he's attempting. And this man doesn't know what a subtle move is, but actually he could do with keeping the initiative. So he is going to try and do this sort of like subtly. So it's almost like he rotates his body to opening himself up to attack by sort of like exposing his midriff that might divert your attention to that, and then you don't see the reverse blade moving into your guard. That's his intent. He's used all his threat. He's burned his determination. The threat pool is down. He's really up against it. You know, his mistress is looking at him. He's failing his overachiever. He's working against him because he ain't achieving. So I'm actually going to say this makes it more difficult, or he's in conflict with his. He's technically going to be in conflict with his statement of duty.
Oh, fun.
So I'm thinking then that he might not use duty here. It's not duty that's driving him, because he's failing in that respect. Otherwise, he's going to be in conflict with his duty statement, which would be great for him to gain determination, but he's going to rely on faith. His statement for this: faith is not something to grasp; it's a state to grow into. So it's battle with faith. His trait is not helping him. Overachiever. He has got military as a trait though, so I think that brings it back to square one. And just 2 dice. So he could really do with his focus coming into play here. did he do?
3 successes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So somehow, just drawing upon his reservoirs of self-belief is enough for him to be successful. He subtly moves that asset into your guard, an unconventional move that isn't in any of the textbooks for sure, which means he gets to keep the initiative
and gets to try to move again.
He gets to try and move again, and so he's going for the body now with this move.
Sure.
And he's going to do this boldly. Again,
that makes sense.
Just faith.
So yeah, if he moves boldly, he'll need 3 successes, but then he can move my sword away from his target.
That's what I'm hoping for, but he needs a crit. Because that's all he's got. He got one before. Can he do it again?
Oh, and he's got 2.
Oh, wow. God, he got it again, but the other one... Got nothing else to leverage. I tell you what, you do notice though, because you've been on the receiving end of this sword now, that as he's doing this maneuver, you've noted it's a fine quality weapon. Don't know how covetous Marlo is, but you want to think about trophies. You recognise it that this is not any ordinary sword; it's a pulse sword. Not that that's helping him right now, but it does have a vibroblade effect. But it's not enough. He's not slick enough.
He doesn't move into my guard. He moves back. He doesn't move into the target. He moves back into the guard.
He moves back into the guard. Yes.
Right. So he doesn't move, and because he fails, I can move an asset.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
So I'm gonna move his sword back into his left hand again, like back almost exactly he tries to move it again.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like a repeat. Like it's almost like Brava's nerves move before his brain functions, and he just puts the hand back again, but puts the sword and his arm back into his other, onto the left side again.
I think
his weak side, because he.
I think if you permit it, what you might be doing there is, as he rotates and goes into this reverse blade, you go with the rotation and are able to reverse it with a spin and put him back into the position he started with. So it's like you almost.
And again, another awkward position back on the left hand, like a full circle, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. Love it. Yeah. Perfect.
So that's him done. Another turn has gone through the loop, and brings us back to the top of the turn. So, where do you want to be, Marlo?
Well, at this point, I think we're probably going to bring it to a close.
Okay.
Because my sword is on his person.
Yes.
I need to roll a opposed attack, and it would be, if I strike, if I connect, it's a 3-point towards the requirement. That would be the end of the duel.
Yes.
So I don't know how it's going, but we're gonna try this. We're gonna kind of bring this to kind of wrap it up. It sounds like things are just about done over there. Hopefully it'll be in time for.
Well, Corrado will be the judge of that.
Oh, you're in the middle of a fight, right?
You can't.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way for me to know. I don't know. I'm speaking out of game. I apologize. Yeah. No, I don't know how that's going, but it's about at this point. I don't know how much longer I can draw this out.
We draw it out.
What's that?
I said right now you don't know how much longer you can plausibly drive.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure at this point. I mean, I know that I can best this man easily, but I don't know how much longer it can, without it looking comical. So
It might
he'll
start looking a bit suspicious if you keep going, not really.
Right,
Yes.
if it's too long, it's almost there. So he'll use the Hiroshi's attack, and he'll make an attack roll. That's against your. So you set the point, but you set the difficulty
I can say the
by
difficulty.
rolling
Yep.
your attack
Yeah.
versus, and then I'll try to beat that with my attack.
All right. So it's battle. He continues to use his faith. He has a. Oh no! Hang on. Isn't it discipline that I use? Oh no! It's battle. So that's 2 dice. Focus. It's long blades. Oh, okay. Well, you got 2 successes. Had I had a little more threat.
Sorry, 2 successes?
Didn't he get a crit there? Oh no, sorry, my mistake.
So he's got
Just
1
one.
plus the shield makes 2.
2.
So
Yeah.
I've got to beat 2. So I will use my.
Seeing the somewhat weak stance of his defense, I'm gonna shout, "Hold! Marlo, you know you can't use Hiroshi's tactic."
Okay.
Take your distance and reset.
Well, it's entirely in your hands.
In the moment, yeah. The Bravo will take, instead of the blade at him, he'll hit him with, again, he'll kind of shove him away and take a large step back.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, and you see a sort of like a palpable shock in this man's eyes. As far as he's concerned, it was all over then. And he turns and looks for the first time. He takes his attention off the bout and looks over at you, Corrado, and his mistress, and he says, "This is some bullshit."
Blake's making an appeal to the referee. The umpire.
Well, I'd say if he wanted to intervene and do something, because I mean, you hear this man. He's barely said any words, but he's making his frustration sort of like clear. Is there anything you want to do, Blake?
Not really. I'm just making a scene, I think.
Okay.
Because assuming that guy should be quite happy that he's got another chance to win his duel, I should try and balance it out by seeming annoyed that
I get you.
the ref's blind.
Seems your man is no better at controlling his emotions than his sword.
Fucking hell. He's really needled and rankled. Yeah, I mean, it's not his turn, is it? Have you finished yours yet? Just
I
check.
did not. So at this point, I kind of I'll make him. I mean, I don't really know. We're kind of playing fast and loose with it. But if you like, I'll just use my action to disengage, and then we can, start again.
Yeah, absolutely. So you step back and disengage.
Yeah.
And he's dropped his guard. He's got his weapon.
Right.
But he's dropped his guard, and he's just stood there, and he looks at you and he says, "This fight was over before it began." And he takes his blade, he thrusts it into the ground. He drops to one knee and he says, I am not a man without honor. You have proven yourself the better swordsman. And he just awaits your judgment, like he's gonna let you cut him.
And without looking back, without checking in with the princess, without checking in with Anna or my team, I sheathe my sword and say it was not my intention to humiliate or kill you today. I let you leave here. I give you your life.
And he rises to his feet and he says, I would have felt better if you had blooded me. And he leaves his sword where it is and walks off in the opposite direction, away from Vesarian and the apartment. He just walks into the trees.
Gonna go rethink his life, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. He's gonna reinvent himself as something else. Yeah. As
I'm going to before she can look elsewhere, I'm going to turn to to Anna Vesarian and say, I believe that you agree the duel is decided in our favor.
And she places
that done.
a cold, frosted martini glass, almost as cold and as frosty as her eyes, and just nods in assent. Meanwhile, we'll cut back seamlessly to the interior as these events unfold, and there you are at the relatively primitive screen where you have this vital information that appear to be being worked on by this spy master that you've got covered in a blanket on a sofa. William, what would you like to do?
Okay, so I must know, as an infiltrator, some way to like make a copy of it, or I don't think there's any point in like destroying it or anything. I must know some way to like use it, or to like I say take a copy of it and is there a floppy disk in there? I just save it on the disk and put it in my pocket or something.
You could do it with a tangible asset if you want to take a copy of it.
Yeah, a copy.
With you.
So I can spend 2 momentum to make an asset.
Yes.
That's only for this scene, right?
Yes. But it is possible to make assets permanent.
Well, I don't have any determination.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be you. But yeah, sorry, what were you saying, Trent?
I think you can also use advancement or for certain kinds of assets.
Okay. What would have been awesome, although I thought of it way too late, it didn't really fit. I mean, can't the Mentat like completely memorize everything just by reading it?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know what's going on outside, and all I know is that Tyran was, reffing the duel, so I can't be like.
And you're in a.
You might be able to hear an energetic appeal to the umpire.
No,
from the balcony.
no, William isn't, because they're in the obfuscation fields. They can't hit anything.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah. Plus, it's going on at the same time, right? So their duel's still going on at this moment.
It is. Yep. That last bit is just playing
a literal cone of silence. Like they're just no. This is
Now the other option.
So I can create an asset.
You could create it. Just give you that. There is another option that you could attempt the risky maneuver of transmitting it by the common in it.
And communicate. That's a communicate skill, right? Is it?
Let's think about the best skill to use for that. Certainly does sound like a kind of communication skill, I grant you.
Well, if you can think of anything that's
Understand would you, because you're trying to use the as a technology.
Yeah.
well,
Actually,
either of them,
if I may, Nick, you can use so you can create an asset like that, with the spending momentum, but you can also spend another 2 momentum to make an asset created during a scene permanent.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to earlier.
Okay.
So you can create an asset with 2 momentum and then spend 2 more. We've got it to spend it to copy it down, to pull out a thumb drive and then spend the other 2 to
I'll totally do that.
Make it permanent. So
because all of the attention has been drawn in the duel scene, and it's keeping everyone occupied, and it has created the momentum for you to be able to take advantage. You could create an asset, make it permanent.
2 more to keep it.
Yeah, perhaps just by you just sort of like pull open one of the drawers, and as the drawer opens, what rolls out is a sort of almost like a sort of little brass USB stick, but it's very elegant, and the perfect device. I mean, there might be some other bonus things on it, but you can make a permanent asset of that transference device.
Yeah, I'll totally do that. So I'm going to spend the 2 momentum to do that.
Yeah.
And then spend the other 2 momentum to, once it's finished, it's like download or whatever. Stick it in my pocket.
Hit save. Make it permanent. It's save.
Yeah. Do it. Yeah.
Remember to save.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I think what I would do is this has got all windows, but they're just shuttered, right?
It's like Venetian blinds. Yeah.
Okay. Is there actually like a door out of here, or would I have to go back in?
Well, hang on. Let me pick up the right tool. These set of doors here are like French windows.
Okay, perfect.
So you could step out into the exterior there. I mean, there's a fence beyond, so you're kind of sort of like trapped in the circumference of the house, but
it's okay.
You could slip
I
out.
just don't want to walk out into the hallway and bump into Consuela outside.
No, and I was just getting ready to move her as well, so you know me.
Yeah. You know me as well.
Yeah.
Wandering.
I might do. She's watering the plants outside now or something.
Oh, no, the gardener is.
Yeah, I try. Sure, I try that door, slip out of there.
Yeah.
And then
absolutely
make my way round.
You're going around the front. Okay. Yeah.
Just
I mean,
appear from that bush as if I've.
One zone would get you round to the veranda. It would be great though if you could make a stealth roll here successfully.
All right.
So that.
Okay.
Just to make sure that
as if you had just come from, as if you had just come from checking the ornithopters or something, making sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, ideally, she doesn't notice you at all.
If
she does notice you, then you're ornithopter.
I've got an excuse. So in which case, so I'll use my move again.
Yeah.
For the stealth. I think we're going to use my. So I have this probably is only. Well, I'm going to see if I can use this anyway. For my truth statement, I have a lie can travel halfway around the planet while truth is putting on its boots. So I'm ready to bullshit my way if I bump into the gardener or Consuela or anyone else, and maybe I can use that like I'm thinking about what excuse I'll make if I need it.
Okay.
Unless you think I should use something else.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Maybe assist if you like. If we could say that you've timed this exactly when I'm shouting at the men.
I'll listen out. For, listen out for your
terrible
scene.
refereeing decision. So I'm like drawing attention to our Mentat instead.
So getting
His name
this
was Garde.
absolutely getting this right is critical. This is a daunting difficulty 3 task.
Okay. So yeah, I do move. Use my truth drive.
Yep.
Because it's the move with stealth, I get the first D23.
Nice.
That's 3, and then I'll use one of those 2 remaining momentum to get another dice for 4. And I've got a focus of stealth. And then hopefully get an assist. Holy shit.
Ooh.
Oh my.
Well, you got a complication.
I got a crit.
And a crit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me.
Oh,
Well, let's have Blake's assist first to see if I actually do it. And then I'll worry about the complication after that. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll go with duty because it's the easiest one.
Yeah.
And that's 1 dice.
Yep.
Focus.
Yeah. What's your focus?
I don't think I got one for this. I got diplomacy and persuasion. I don't have distraction and deception, so I'm not sure I do actually. So.
Yeah, no, I don't think you do in this circumstance. I mean, maybe tenuously persuasion, but
Tenuously,
it's
yeah.
a bit tenuous for me.
Alright, let's leave it then. It'll be fun.
There
It'll
we
be
go,
fun.
one more. So I do snake round, but I've still got a complication.
You have got a complication now. I can give you one, or you can give me threat, and this is anything else you can do to mitigate it.
You may want to buy it off. You can pay 2 threat and just buy it off at this point. This
Yeah,
may
I
be-
know that, but
I mean,
it's
better off
working
offering.
really well for us currently that Steve has no threat at all.
That is true. That is true.
What am I going to do with 2
So,
threat, really?
Really.
Well, what's the complication idea that you have?
Okay, so you've been successful, and you sort of like appear without being noticed. As you are making your way around, though, you know, you secrete the bronze drive into an inside pocket. And as you do so, you feel something you can't account for about your person. You notice there's some kind of wire on you.
Kind of why? Do you mean that I've walked into that's
No,
inside
on
the
your
jacket?
person inside your jacket is something has been planted there. Some kind of wire, like an electronic wire, like some kind of snooping device is on your person.
Okay, then I bite off you with the 2 threat.
Hang on a minute, we can't have both ways, can we? Either you're not going to give me a threat, or I give you the complication, you accept the complication. You don't like it, then you buy off the threat. How does that work?
Is that how it works or not?
Doesn't seem
I thought you know the
like
complication,
reasonable.
and then you decide whether you bite off you.
Well, that's a very good point. I think we need to know, don't we, really? Can use a complication to inflict an immediate problem. This can often create a trait, a fact about the scene which hinders or impairs your actions. You're not powerless in this situation, though. If you suffer a complication, yes, you can. I don't like it, but you can choose to buy it off with your 2 points of threat.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
here's
that
the consequences you could
sucks.
potentially
Well,
suffer.
hang
No,
on.
I don't.
That's what it will say, so there you go.
Well, there might be a... So, getting a complication, does that give you any kind of advancement point? Facing adversity, blah, 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 all that.
Just fail a difficult test, right?
I failed a difficult test. No, I didn't fail it with the
No, you
assistance.
made
I
it.
passed the test,
Okay, no.
but I got a complication.
No.
Yeah, it's a complication. Yeah, it's a different story.
So I don't think we get advancement points for that, for suffering that. So.
No.
But I might do later because it's obviously something that's going to.
It might be more narrative complications. Yeah.
Or if the complication creates a mechanical failure, then you'd get an advanced.
I'll give you the threat for now, and I'll worry about it afterwards when we can read through stuff a bit more properly.
No, I mean that's I'm not sure what you mean. It says that's entirely in line with the old rules there. So yeah, you can buy off the threat. That's exactly what it says.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
We go. There we go. Finally, after the duel and everything, it's all done. You get some threat. There we go.
Yeah, like I said, what am I going to do with that now? I suppose.
Well, is it a thing that I've seen it, but can I like disarm it, or I know something about it because I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you discover, with this complication. Yeah, you recognize it for what it is. You can switch it off, and you know what you need to do in order to erase it if you wish to. But it's your choice.
Yeah, okay.
So you neutralize it by buying off with a threat. Nice. Okay. Right. So.
I think that was a good decision, Nick. I think that was the best way to go.
Oh. Yeah.
And Vesarian.
Oh, can I?
Oh.
Can I? I don't know whether it's worth it or whether it's just because you made it up on the fly. Can I use 1 point of momentum there to obtain information and remember who was it?
Try and track back to when it might have happened feasibly? Yes, you can use momentum. Hang on, yeah, because you have got momentum to spend. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I've got 2 left. I'll spend one of those.
Yep.
Rack my brain for who's got close to me in the last, couple of hours or whatever.
The only person it could be is you recall that when you passed Victor Rund in the corridor,
fucking knew it was him.
He put his arm around you in that buddy way.
Yeah, in our secret handshake. What he doesn't know is that I also at the same time planted the same wire around.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
I feel like the two of you devolve into the. Do you remember the old Mad cartoons, the spy versus spy?
Yeah, spy v
where they're always one-upping each other, always like, oh, I've done this, but you've done this.
Yeah,
that's you two constantly.
Definitely is.
Nice. Okay. So
seeing William round the corner, I'll just tell Blake, look, the duel is over. There's no further discussion warranted.
Fine.
And I kind of nod towards William.
Yeah. Fine. Secretary, make a note of this terrible refereeing decision.
There's a lot of nods going on between us all.
And Anna Vesarian has simply sat there, she's got an empty, chilled martini glass, and finally her housekeeper, Consuela, rattles through, just moments too late, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway because you went in the wrong direction for her, but she comes out with some food and refreshments, and Anna really doesn't, the servant is beneath her notice, but she serves you all, and her lips are still thin. She's just glowering, but and she eyes you, smirk.
Well, I guess that's settled then. Won the duel, and I will be pleased to show you some other wonderful amenities on this island.
She finally brings herself to utter some words and says, I don't know how you learned about this, and you may think you've got the upper hand over me. I will not attend the exhibition, much as it pains me not to be able to see Talia's reach the fulmination of her career that she so deserves. You have no idea how you've broken my heart with your actions today, with these insinuations. I don't know how you came to these conclusions. Nevertheless, you have won, I suppose.
If you love something, you should let it go.
That's a set them free misquote. And I despise you, sir, for bringing Sting into this.
Is that a Sting? Is
Yes,
that a Sting one?
yeah. If you love somebody,
I'm
set them free.
unaware.
It's a Sting one, yeah.
Mm.
This the wrong scene for him. She stands up, as the servant fusses about, setting things out. There's a small table she set things out on. She says, enjoy the refreshments, but please leave my island at the earliest opportunity. You have my assurance that I will not be attending. I trust that is sufficient.
Is it sufficient?
I'll tell her it's sufficient.
Yes, she looks at you with the tiniest iota of gratitude, and stalks into her apartment.
Could I try
Yeah.
before she goes?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Could I,
Oh, no.
since
One more
you know,
parting shot. Go ahead. Another.
Could I try to push the issue and get her to drop this issue with prejudice, so she's not gonna look into it?
You could, yes. I mean, this is.
Because I'll tell you what I'm angling for to make this whole process less cryptic. I've got this skill, and I've been trying to use it since episode 1 on her.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
Which is why I keep asking you to bring up give me momentum. There's only one left.
I've tried. I'm sorry. We started with. I did my best.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
But I could still do it with one. I mean, she can still break the promise, but it'll be expensive for Steve.
Right. He'll have to
Also,
spend threat to break the promise.
Yeah.
Because she asked us to leave quickly, but I am somebody who's somewhat. Tyrion is someone who's somewhat food motivated. Can I roll to see how many hors d'oeuvres I can eat, and maybe we can get.
Oh, take it to go.
Roll a
Take-
d20 as a supporting roll.
Yes. I love it.
And if you succeed in that roll,
Yeah, she just
then
wants
you
to get
eat
the
very
rest
slowly or whatever,
I'm able to make enough of an ass of myself that she just wants us out of the house and agrees to this.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah,
it
I
will
can do
help.
it.
But let Blake do his communicate
first,
roll, and then you can do your support.
Communicate to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could just mess this up at the last second with it.
Well, look at your personal trait first of all. Is there anything you can leverage there? And don't forget also the house trait might apply, because you can use that as your own personal trait.
Well, I mean, I've got diplomacy. Wait a
This-
minute, is trait something else?
That's a focus, right? Diplomacy.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Diplomacy is a focus, but we have house traits.
Right, what's the house
Discretion is
trait?
a house trait.
Discretion, I think that's probably the one then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're appealing to discretion here. I mean, the whole point of this binding promise is for her to, not delve into the whole matter any further and maintain the discretion of the house. So that will
I'm
lower
trying to
the difficulty
make
level.
her not seek vengeance, essentially. So she can be
Yeah.
discreet, so can we. That's
Yeah.
kind of like the
Yeah.
thing, because ultimately, if her secret gets out, I mean, she doesn't actually know the extent to which we know all her secrets at
No.
this point.
No. Well.
And more importantly, she doesn't know how we know.
No, and that's the point. So that will lower the difficulty rating, And I was going to ask for this to be dire, but now it's daunting, so it's difficulty rating 3.
Uh-oh.
You got this.
So, for drives, I've got duty, which with the statement what must be done and must be done, or the much worse one is truth, which is truth is a currency and therefore has a price, and that one fits better, but it's much worse for me to roll. So,
Well, neither of those are potentially in conflict. Are both of them kind of like fit?
okay,
So
I'll go with duty.
yeah, go with the one that's gives you the best advantage here.
Well, does that give me 3 dice?
The higher.
No,
You don't get to buy a dice with it, unfortunately. You die,
no.
you die with it.
3 with the assist, I mean.
Oh, well, unless you want to use...
If I
There's
use
one momentum left.
If I use the momentum,
You can
I
use the
can't
momentum,
use my
you
skill.
No, that's for the binding promise.
Oh.
So yeah,
Can-
so you just got 2.
Can
Yeah,
more than
and
one
an
person
assist.
assist though? Or is this only one assist?
You always ask the great
Yeah,
questions.
I do. I think you can have a maximum.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a
you can have a max of
maximum.
3 assists.
We house ruled that like there had to be a plausible narrative to it.
Well, I'm thinking that I'm gonna do what Tyran's doing and try to stall by eating the food. I'm just gonna, help the help.
I mean, you are in a good geographical position there, aren't you? Really. I mean, as she's coming towards the door, you're sort of like stepping out from the perfect position to be a physical block.
You can almost block her exit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it would be a move.
Right, brilliant.
So we've got
And
2.
I'll do it. I can do it as swift.
You can.
Love it.
Perfect. So those are 2 assist rolls are going to give you. So you've got 2 dice for your communicate, but you've got 2 assist here. So if you want to do your communicate, Blick, Smick.
I suppose I could use a determination, but that's not.
Well,
No, let's leave it for now, I guess.
Determination can turn one of those 20s to a 1.
yeah, you guarantee
Yeah,
it
that
then.
automatically.
That might be something that happens.
I think, yeah.
Oh, you got a crit.
You got a crit.
Wow.
On a
Got
system,
2.
I'm relying on you and your gluttony.
I'm assuming this is a communicate roll and that I'm like feigning gluttony to be annoying. Well, semi, because Tyran does like an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah.
So I have a social awareness focus. Would that apply?
Oh yes, because
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because
As I flagrantly violate etiquette, you gotta
absolutely,
know the
yeah,
rules.
you got to know the rules that you're breaking. But
Know the rules to break the rules.
there's an
Alright.
apportioned amount of hors d'oeuvres here, and you're just taking more than your fair share.
Swale is gonna have to go and do another round.
Yeah, she is. She's livid.
So, I'm gonna say that. Would truth is more powerful than any weapon work? As I'm trying to.
Truth is more powerful than any
make
weapon,
the,
but you're being deceptive.
deceptive, yeah.
So
Because so I'm using the weapon. It's powerful, so I don't let anybody have it.
I'm not sure that an act of deception matches terribly well to a drive statement that is about truth. Can you read it for me again, just so I can?
Truth is more powerful than any weapon.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, it's fine. Go
Right.
for it.
That means I want to have access to the truth, but I don't want Anna Vesarian to have it.
Yeah,
Is the way I might interpret that.
I'm
You
happy.
don't want to be stabbed with a truth knife.
No. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, truth. And 1 dice.
I've got a hunter seeker set to truth.
Using focus, yes.
Nice.
You got
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So we're up to 3,
Got 1. Up to 3.
and then you're doing a swift move as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to use my. It's not a big number, but I like the sound of it. My justice statement is, I have no patience for those who complain that life's unfair. And I move in front of her.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, that
It's my
works so well.
Justice.
Mm.
So I only get 1 dice because it's an assist, but I've got a focus in Swift. Yeah, hell yeah, crit.
Crits. Oh my
Wow.
God.
Okay.
So you should have some momentum now to
You've got plenty of
Make it
momentum
more
now.
What did you-
binding.
So that's
2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5.
so 5.
And
5
you needed
successes
3,
versus
right?
a difficulty 3.
3 is the most
Yeah.
I can use.
Mm.
Well, you've got 3 then.
So
You
I
get
would say
2 back.
spend all 3 of them.
Hell
We
yeah.
can't save them.
I'm going to spend all 3
Spend all
to make
3
this
of them and
promise
make her,
extra binding.
Like make this binding promise
So if she wishes to
her
break.
oath on her
Yeah.
Landsrad. Yeah.
Yeah, if she
So if
wishes.
she wants to
6
look
threat,
into this, it'll cost you 3 threat.
Twice.
Twice the amount of it, 6.
Is it?
6 threat.
Yeah.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Make the agreement. The
Oh,
person
yeah.
wishes to break, they must spend twice the momentum you spend.
Momentum.
So it costs 6 threat to break it.
Hell yeah.
That is a chunk of threaty
Good team.
change.
Mind you,
Awesome.
Anna
That is a
Versarian with
Binding
one
promise and a half. Yes.
can invest if she wants.
So I think the way he does it is he just like he's like a brick wall when you're trying to
Silence.
talk to him. You just can't. Well, it's not really signing, but there's just no reasoning with him, like arguing with the
Yeah.
wall, But I think his line for it is something like, "This has. I understand this is an unpleasant situation for you, but I think you would agree that leaving it be and not looking further into it would be the best thing, not only for you and us, but also for Talia."
And that seems to be the clincher, really, bringing Talia into it and appealing to her love for Talia has her face sort of like crumbles. Of the first genuine emotion that you think you've seen her register the whole time you've encountered her. Everything else has been bluster and her whole power trip and then she looks at you, Tarosh, as you've just appeared right in front of her, sort of like blocking away, and then you see her teeth grate as she hears Corrado just munching away for his 3rd plate of hors d'oeuvres, and the whimpering of the house servant, because no, sir, they're not for you, not those ones, no. And she just looks resigned and nods. I will, of course, for Talia, not take things any further. I think this is a great point to end this scene and end this session. Awesome work.
Yay! We did it.
Nicely done.
Mm,
We
That's
didn't kill
impressive.
anybody, and we got like a bunch
Yeah.
of bonus intelligence.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um,
And Steve, before we end the scene, I hope it's okay. I grabbed the pulse sword as an asset. That's what he was giving up
Yeah.
his weapon.
yeah, and it's a quality 1 pulse sword too.
Is it? Oh, all right. Well, I got.
Oh, Nick, make sure you write down
With
that
that-
new asset that you created
Yeah.
on your sheet.
Oh, the magic
The thumb drive of
information
secret-
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
'Cause it's got the
The
accounts
final
on,
record.
but who knows what else is on it.
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
So there's the potential to improve the quality of that asset and have more and more dirt on Vesarian.
She's going to be doing what we tell her for a real long time.
Oh yes, you own that Scion. Now this gives you a massive amount of potential leverage because she's a minor house subservient to the Imperial Court. I think, the Contessa is going to be very pleased with you when she learns of your actions here today. We haven't even got to the exhibition yet. You've taken out a major obstacle that will reduce the difficulty inherent in that, and you've gained some important leverage. Awesome.